a peasant could create his own house in one day. He could start in the morning and he'd dig out the hole, usually into the side of a hill. And he'd mix the mud and wattle and would build the walls and he could roof it that evening with the rushes, the same way as it has been done here on wattle. So his materials were beside him and he was able to do it straight away, no problem. So if you look up at the roof, you can see like the wattles, the way they were made like a basket there. They were woven one into the other. The first thing they put them all across that way before the actual scraws were put on top of them. Now we call them scraws. The scraws is a word that we use down for sods down in the west of Ireland. Even fellas playing golf down our way, like they don't refer to divots at all, they always refer to them as scraws anyway. Now there was no such thing as a chimney. The smoke went up along the wall and went out in a hole in the roof. And you can see the hole there with the smoke, and it pulls perfect, that chimney. Too dangerous to have it lit on a show day like today. We had lit it this morning, worked perfect, tested it and all that, but we couldn't run it. Now they would have a bed of straw here in the corner, and that's where they lay. We'd say in the order of, you know, the oldest child next in. That's what they usually say anyway, they lay. I don't know if they were that orderly or not in those days, but that's what they lay there. And they would take in animals, small animals or that, into the house with them as well. Now the other thing was the walls were made of mud and they would have been damp. Like the roof had to be made out over them in order to keep the drop off them. Because if the weather got at the wall, it would go back into clay again and it would be no use. Now, as I say, we had to do an imitation mud wall cabin. We didn't do the real thing because we hadn't suitable materials up here for it. There was a little window there in them as well, and it would be no bigger than that. Now, we haven't been cut through, but just to give you an idea of the size of it. It's just for size purposes. The one thing about them was that they were deadly for TB. In the west of Ireland, like there was no getting out of the TB out of them. It thrived, germ thrived in the walls, and the dampness and everything else that went with it. But like when they were built into the side of a hill, there was great shelter in them, and the weather didn't get at them that much because there would be very little of one end on the weather side usually. There'd be very little of that shown above ground. They nearly run flat.